tears and shut your eyes. I might have a few more rides. You might think you're getting wise, but you might be surprised. I might holler and scream and curse. I might sing or even worse. I might hit you with another verse. Don't listen to me. I might tell you how to spend a yen. I might tell you how to pluck a hen. Don't make me have to tell you all again. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me.
Great to be speaking with you, Art. Now, you describe Jerseybraska as a self-portrait disguised as songs about New Jersey. Which track gives the most honest picture of who you actually are?
There are a number of songs that are clearly autobiographical. Really, all of them are to some extent. But the one that most probably closely reflects who I am is the Steps of St. Teresa's. That's the church where I was baptized, confirmed, married, and where I'll probably get the final heave-ho someday. You know, I've seen a lot of loved ones get carried up and down those steps. I'm not especially religious anymore, but I am deeply spiritual. I believe that the soul is real, and the prospect of reconnecting with those that I've lost in the hereafter gives me a sense of comfort and hope. At its core, the song is about love of family and friends, and it conveys that sentiment as well as anything that I've ever done. I'd like to give my brother Mike some credit for coming up with the original idea of the song about 20 years ago, and although I retained a couple of his original lyrics, I basically updated the whole thing for this particular album.
You've been making music with bands for a long time. What finally made this the right moment for a solo record?
Well, the personal nature of these songs made me want to capture them quickly and in a more stripped-down way. And doing a solo record gave me the freedom to work on my own terms, my own timetable, and to explore a slightly different sound without overthinking it.
How long did Jerseybraska take to record? What was the process like?
Well, it took about 2.5 months to record, spread across several sessions whenever studio time opened up. The drums were recorded in a single day by this guy, Jerry Ross, who had only heard raw acoustic demos of the songs. And without any prior rehearsal, he came into the studio and knocked everything out in one day. It was incredible. Thank you, Jerry. Thanks also to CJ, my recording engineer, who plays a lot of the instruments on the record that I don't play, like bass and a little bit of keyboard. And he contributed his enthusiasm and his ideas, and the record would not have gotten done without him. So thank you again, CJ. A lot of the record was tracked live with bass and other elements overdubbed later. I really wanted to capture a moment and avoid over-processing it. And since I was financing it myself, I was keeping an eye on the clock the whole time, too.
You grew up in one version of New Jersey and now live in a pretty different version of it. Does where you live change how you write?
Not really. The past 20 years has been my most productive period, and that's all happened where I live now. The rural setting might have nudged some of the music in a more folky or rootsy direction, but at heart, I'm still a punk kid from a scrappy blue-collar town in the shadow of New York City. By the way, that's the strangest British accent I've ever heard. Where are you from?
The Isle of Jersey in England.
Ah, that figures.
Is there a New Jersey story, either historical or personal, that you haven't written a song about yet, but probably should?
I tried to write a mafia epic, but it always seemed a little too cliche, a little too Sopranos. But ironically, The Sopranos was based on the DeCavalcante crime family, whose boss, Sam the plumber, had a store about a block from where I grew up. Now, I'm half Italian on my mother's side, and sometimes I felt like the only kid in the neighborhood whose name didn't end in a vowel. But let's just say I know some things, and I know some guys who know some guys, and there's probably a song in there somewhere, but I should be careful.
What was your first instrument? Do you still have it or play it?
A $54 K electric guitar that my grandmother bought me when I was 11 or 12, and unfortunately I sacrificed it on stage at a college party doing my Pete Townsend impersonation. So Sorry about that, Grandma.
Perhaps in some unspecified amount of time, your musical career explodes in the best of ways. What does that look like for you?
I'd be blown away if other artists started recording my songs, and I'd love to work with younger musicians who share that same homegrown, honest, human approach to music, maybe as a producer, a collaborator, a mentor. I'll always keep performing and recording, and in the meantime, I've launched this YouTube channel around Jerseybraska, and I hope to grow that into something with a real following.
You get to collaborate with anyone of your choosing. Who is it?
I've been told I sound a little bit like Elvis Costello, who's been a huge influence on me, and that probably comes through in the songwriting. But it'd be interesting to see what kind of damage we could do together. Here's a picture of me backstage at the House of Blues in Chicago sometime in the 90s with the man himself.
Your favorite album of all time? Yes, you can only choose one.
Well, I have to give the obvious Jersey answer. That is Born to Run by Springsteen. The best thing he's ever done, a perfect album. I got my first copy as a birthday gift in the summer of '78. And a couple weeks later, I was in the car with my family riding down to Florida. And out of boredom, I was playing the whole album in my head from memory, lyric for lyric, note for note. I could still do that. That record is in my DNA.
Your favorite song of all time? Again, you can only choose one.
Just one, huh? It would have to be Turn, Turn, Turn by the Byrds. This is my mono promo copy, one of my prized possessions. I tear up every time I hear that song. It might be the most beautiful thing I've ever heard.
What would you like fans to know about you that they're most likely unaware of?
Let's see. The most appreciative crowd that I've ever played for was for about 500 inmates at Rahway State Penitentiary in 1988. That's a maximum security prison where they filmed Scared Straight, a real hardcore place, obviously in Rahway, New Jersey. You see, I was in a criminal justice program in college, and my band got recruited to play as part of a charity event at the prison. All the lifers were sitting, in the front row. They were kind of royalty in that place. And there were only 2 guards with clubs between us and the inmates because there were no guns allowed in the auditorium. So it was surreal. It was my Johnny Cash moment. And honestly, it changed me in a lot of ways.
Any shout-outs you would like to make?
Always and first and foremost to my wife Jen and my daughters Victoria and Jessica. I'd like to give a shout out to CJ and Jerry, who I mentioned before, who were my main collaborators on Jerseybraska. A couple of my bandmates made some cameo appearances on this record. John Trotty, Captain Ron Martin, and Bob Ringwood and his lovely wife Arlene, who lent some backing vocals to the St. Teresa song. Really, I want to give a shout out to all my past and present bandmates from 68 AD, the GBU, Worst Case Scenario, Exit 138, Snowblind, and every hung up person in the whole wide universe.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, I'd just like to add that I'm a grown man doing a goddamn puppet show, for Christ's sake. My new album, Jerseybraska, comes out July 8th. I worked really hard on it. Please give it a chance, and don't make me have to sink even lower. Over and out.
Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me.